What's going on? Thank you for taking the time out to watch this video. I got some exciting news today. We got another company out there supporting crypto, supporting Bitcoin. They are now accepting Bitcoin payments starting as early as 2023. So that's another reason why Bitcoin's here to stay. I don't care who you are or what you say about Bitcoin. You could say it's a thing of the past. It's dead. It died 1,100,000 times, but it's here to stay. So let's jump right into the article and see what it's all about. So I'm going to share my screen, and the first article is coming out of Bitcoin Magazine. Let me get that up and running for you. And it's Spanish Airline to accept Bitcoin payments. So why is this huge? It's another area of adoption that we see across the globe accepting Bitcoin payments. And it says Spanish Airline will begin accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as payment in early 2023. So it has partnered with BitPay, which if you guys don't know what BitPay is, go ahead and check them out. They're pretty good. It's a very, very decent platform on the cryptocurrency space. They got a lot of good things going for them. It's a provider of Bitcoin payment infrastructure to enable the new payment method in its website. The airline will also be working with UATP, a global payment solution provider for travel expenses utilized by airlines worldwide. So go ahead and check the rest of this article out, and it's from Bitcoin Magazine, and it's talking about Spanish Airlines accepting Bitcoin, and that's huge, guys. So the more adoption, the better. The next one's coming out of an article, Billings, Montana. Now, this has to do with being prepared and not scared. I like to keep my channel crypto only related, but when it comes to times like this and how we're living these days, excuse me, we need to be prepared and not scared. We need to be out there, as Economic Ninja says, crushing it, living the dream, being a provider in your community and doing what you set out to do. So how could you prepare for something like this? This was the area that we were going to decide to go, and it's one of those gut instincts that you get when you're picking places for you and your family to go and stay. Now some of these people that already live there, they can't predict what's going to happen there. But how could you be prepared in a situation like this? So let's go ahead and read the article. It says, Billings, Montana could run out of water in less than 36 hours. I want you guys to think about what would happen to you if you ran out of water in 36 hours. How would you be prepared? Do you have a river, a stream, a lake, something by you where you could get water out of and turn it into potable water? This story is huge, guys, because we don't know where it's going to strike, when it's going to strike, how it's going to strike. We just know we're living in crazy times. Was this done on purpose? According to the article, it was a flood. Right here it says, yesterday the city of Billings, Montana was rocked by floods not seen in 500 years. Now, of course, they're gonna play onto this and call it global warming and climate change and all this other BS, which we know the globe goes through cycles, life cycles, market cycles. Everything's a cycle. So don't let them fool you when it comes to all this nonsense. It's how do you prepare for the nonsense that we already know is coming no matter what, and it's not in anyone's hands. The only thing people do is they take advantage of these times and they're prepared and not scared. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring to the table today and let you guys understand. What would you do if you ran out of water, or if you thought your town was going to run out of water? So the first thing is building community. I don't know if you guys watched any of my shorts over the last couple of days. When the market is down and I'm feeling depressed or whatever, I'll zoom out and I'll hodl because I'm a hodler. I do have a trading bag, but I'll still hodl, and I'll take time to zoom out. We went out and went to the river and hung out for the day, the last 2 days, and just relaxed. So it says the flooding shut down most of Yellowstone National Park, which I mentioned earlier. We were going to go there, so something in my gut told us not to go there, and we didn't go. We came here to where we're at now, and that's either God, if you believe in that, which I do, or that's that gut feeling in your stomach. It says, and officials claim that Billings water treatment plant was also affected, prompting a shutdown. This shutdown has left residents of Billings facing a potential water crisis as city officials warn citizens that there are less than 36 hours of water left in the available supply. Sources claim that concerned residents made a run on the grocery stores in anticipation of the worst. So, I mean, those are scary times right there. If you're living in that city and you're running out of water, would you want to be one of those people that are running on the grocery stores or making a quick dash to get water? No. These are the times where we all know where channels like mine, channels like Economic Ninja, Litecoin Leader, everybody's blowing the whistle and saying, start preparing yourself for more and more events like this. Because if it's not climate change, global warming, recession, we're now in a depression, whether they want you to believe it or not. I think it's a depression. I've never seen gas prices like this. I was born in the 80s, and when I started to drive, gas prices were a little under $1. So I remember going to the pump and it was $1. And when it went over $1, they had special weekends where the gas station was lined up around the corner and you can get gas for $1. And that was after it went over $1. Now we're at $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 a gallon for regular gasoline. Really? Is that inflation and what they want you to believe, or is that our dollar devaluating? Are we turning into one of those third world countries, and they're doing it to us slowly? And how do we fix that? So these are the things to pay attention to, guys. But I don't want to be a doom and gloom channel. So how do you be prepared and not scared? You start stocking up now on water. Buy extra cases of water. What we did, we bought extra cases of water, and we also went out and bought a water purifier. So you can take some water, put it in a purifier, and if you don't trust that purifier, buy a second one. So now you're purifying it twice. So the next article is coming out of Finbold. IRS launches Operation Hidden Treasure to clamp down on crypto non-taxpayers. Now, if you're doing crypto the right way, or you're educated enough on how to get around taxes, good for you. Eventually, if you're doing enough in cryptocurrencies and you have a lot of on-ramps and off-ramps like I do, you're going to have to pay taxes either way. And this is not financial advice. This is not tax advice. I'm not a tax advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just letting you know the truth. You can use a lot of different exchanges and a lot of different ways to on and off ramp cryptos without having to worry about taxes. If you need help with any of that, reach out to me and I can lead you to the right person. But for me, I think it's best to pay your taxes because there's ways around it, but there kind of is no way around it depending on your situation. So as cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum become more popular, widely adopted around the world as a valid alternative to traditional assets, countries are seeking ways to regulate and tax the new asset class, as well as punish those who avoid paying their dues. Now, this could be one of those scare articles where, you're using, or you're involved with $9,000 to $10,000 worth of cryptos trading, or maybe you made 9 or 10,000. But there's ways to where if you lost 9 or 10,000, you can file that on your taxes as well. So it's just like I said, person to person basis on how you are in your crypto journey and where you feel comfortable with paying or not paying taxes. So the next article is coming out of Finbold again. It says Bitcoin whales wake up from winter nap to buy the dip as inflow activity hits a 4-month high. And this is where they're getting that tax stuff from. I mean, if you're a Bitcoin whale, yeah, you better pay your taxes, or you better have someone shady enough to get you out of paying it, because it's what they did was crash the market. They got the little hands out, they got the retail investors out of the way, and they bought from you guys. So if you guys were scared jumping out of the market, guess what? These whales just picked up your crypto for nothing compared to what you probably bought it for if you were new or you didn't understand what crypto cycles were. So I've been a part of these cycles. This is my third one. I've seen it go up, down, but in long term, it does nothing but go up. So what do? I hodl. Of course, I take my profits. You have to take your profits. And then when the cycle goes down, you hodl after you take your profits. Or you start dollar cost averaging in. Me and Bitcoin Country did a video on dollar cost averaging, and then hope to get Jeff and Divvy Daddy and a couple other people on here, and we can talk more about dollar cost averaging and how you can really hold on to your cryptos during these bear markets, because a lot of these guys have a little more knowledge than I do long term, like long, talking about 2013, 2014. I jumped in at 2015. Really started studying at 2018, 19, and 20. So it just depends on you as a person. So it says, amid the current market collapse, new data reveals that crypto whales had taken advantage of the chance to acquire Bitcoin when the asset came dangerously close to plunging below the critical support level of 20,000. Of course they would. So either they're dropping it on purpose to take it from you guys, not saying you as the people that are watching this channel, but the average person that needs the money because of inflation is so high right now. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. You had to take your money out of cryptos to buy fuel, to buy food, to buy, diapers for your kids, whatever it may be. And that's what they're doing. They're crashing all markets to get the retail investors out, so that way they have full control over everything. And then later on they'll release their CBDCs, and then you'll be I hate to say it, but SOL. So the next article is coming out of Decrypt. It says right here, most of the world's wealthiest individuals have bought digital assets. A majority of millionaires polled for the World Wealth Report have invested in digital assets, including cryptocurrency. A new report published on Tuesday by French IT services and consulting multinational suggests 71% of 2,973 high net worth individuals polled globally have invested into digital assets. Now, if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. You can go onto the blockchain and check this article out for yourself, and look at the big whale transactions. They're on there. Their whales are buying the cryptos from the retail investors. They're buying Bitcoin from the everyday average Joe. So what do you want to do? You want to get on board, and you want to jump in now. Now's the time to get your cryptos into your own possessions, get them off the exchanges, and get them now. It's part of prepping, being prepared and not scared. So the next part of being prepared and not scared is Taiwan warns China it has a missile capable of striking Beijing. Fears of China possible invading Taiwan have been renewed amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So I'll play a little bit of this video. Let me know if you guys hear it in the chat or in the description area below.
Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, distinguished fellow at the Hudson Institute and a Fox News contributor. Secretary, great to have you with us today. You know,
Martha, it's great to be back with you.
Thank you. I just want to hit rewind here. I want to replay that soundbite from President Biden when he was asked what he hoped to accomplish while on this trip that we understand they're about to announce to Saudi Arabia. Let's listen to this again.
It happens to be a larger meeting taking place in Saudi Arabia. That's the reason I'm going. And it has to do with national security for them, for Israelis. I have a program. Anyway, it has to do with much larger issues than having to do with the energy.
Okay. Can you untangle that for us?
No, Martha, I can't. I'm not sure he can untangle that. Look, he's got himself in a place. He said things that were deeply inconsistent with America's best interest. He said he wanted to make the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia a pariah state, when in fact they are an important security partner for our friends and allies in the region, when they're an important contributor to the global economy, and when you have a leader in Saudi Arabia who, for all the shortcomings that nation has exhibited over decades, is making a real effort towards reforming that country. I hope he'll go there. I hope he'll put the reset on that relationship with the United States of America. We had it in a place that was deeply connected to making life for the American people here at home more prosperous and more secure. And they walked in and because the Washington Post was angry, they walked in and walked away from a really strong relationship between the kingdom and the United States, which is really important to the American people.
Well, obviously, the murder of Jamal Khashoggi was a extremely disturbing event, and I know you wanted them to be held accountable for those actions. Did that ever happen?
Well, Martha, two things. First, the murder of any human being anywhere in the world is obviously horrible. The murder of Jamal Khashoggi is no different from that. It's worth noting that the Iranians have killed more people since the death of Jamal Khashoggi than just about any terror state in the world. And we are, under the Biden administration, sitting at the table with the Iranians, negotiating with them to try and figure out how to give them more American money, just as a note. Second, yes, we held them accountable. I don't remember the exact number. It was between 10 and 15 people that we could determine beyond a shadow of a doubt were connected to the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. We sanctioned them. Both Treasury and the State Department did those sanctions. We most certainly made clear that we found this unacceptable. But there was a larger, more important objective for the United States, and that was to make sure that our economy continued strong, that the Iranians, who caused most of the trouble in the Middle East, were pressured, and that the Saudis had the capacity, along with our other partners in the region, to defend themselves from the constant onslaught of missile attacks from Yemen and from Iran.
Well, we saw real progress in the Trump administration with you at the helm as well on the Abraham Accords, and I think the president was sort of hinting towards that kind of relationship, talking about security for the Israelis and the Saudis. We'll see when he goes exactly, he can fill in the blanks for us there, I hope. Here is Secretary Lloyd Austin. Let's turn our attention in the last minute that we have here to China. Here is what he said when he went to Singapore and spoke fairly strongly about China's activities in the Taiwan Straits. Watch this.
We see growing coercion from Beijing. We've witnessed a steady increase in provocative and destabilizing military activity near Taiwan. But the PRC's moves threaten to undermine security and stability and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific.
That's stronger language than we have heard from the defense secretary, who usually calls it the pacing challenge here. How do you interpret that?
Martha, it is strong language, but he's talking about the strength of the Chinese Communist Party instead of focusing on the strength of the United States of America and our partners and allies in the region. I wish that Secretary Austin had not talked about all the things China is doing, but rather talked about the things the Biden administration is prepared to do to protect the sovereignty of Taiwan, prepared to make sure that we can still have commercial ships travel through the South China Sea. These are the things the Chinese Communist Party is talking about, to just simply in a speech highlight all the misdeeds and malign activity of the Chinese Communist Party. One could go on for a long time. What we need to do is lay out a sound strategy to confront the very real threat that the Chinese Communist Party presents to the United States and to the central understandings about human liberty and dignity around the world.
Well, China's minister says that the United States is doomed to failure if we entangle in that region, and that they are devoted to protecting their national sovereignty and security and the territorial integrity at any cost, says the leadership in China. Secretary Pompeo, always good to see you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha.
So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about that. If we are going to go into a further recession or depression, which I think we're already in, if China decides to move on Taiwan. Leave your comments down in the description below and just let me know what you think on that topic. So moving on. So this one's out of Cointelegraph. It says banking uses 56 times more energy than Bitcoin. And this is a value chain report. It says analysis of Bitcoin proof of work and Lightning Network exposes the banking system as energy hungry, demonstrating that Bitcoin is better for the planet. We all know that Bitcoin is better for the planet in so many ways. It brings you financial freedom. It brings you a way to bank the unbanked, and it brings you sovereignty as a nation or as a community. There's so many ways to mine Bitcoin where you don't have to use a lot of energy. Like I said, there's people doing it out of mines. There's people now learning how to use the water to mine cryptos. So right here, the article says, fresh figures on Bitcoin's energy consumption, efficiency, and scalability serve to expose the banking sector while bathing in the world's largest cryptocurrency in a new light. So, I mean, that's huge, guys. If you guys don't understand what that means, leave comments down below. More than happy to help you. Join the Patreon, ask questions. I have a way to reach out to me on Patreon. You can leave a comment, you can direct message me, and I will answer any questions that you have to the best of my knowledge. So the next one is Fear and Greed Index. Right now we're at extreme fear. Why is that? The economy collapsing, the dollar collapsing. We have the market dropping. But when it says extreme fear, that's time to get in the market. When it says extreme greed, it's time to start pulling your profits or getting out a little bit into the stable coins or putting into silver or anything besides cryptos. So right now you want to get in extreme greed. You want to start pulling profits. I'm not saying to get all the way out. You always want to play with the house's money and leave that in there, but pull your own profits. And I understand if you can't afford to live and you need to pull your profits now, that's something you may have to do. But short term, long term, that's the indicator right there on what to follow, and we're at a 7. So right now I would say it's time to get in, not financial advice. I got to say it because people will take this literally and they'll think it's financial advice. And then the last article today is just the market cap, and then I wanted to show you the Bitcoin market cap. Right now we're sitting around roughly 20,000. Let me make sure that's the right one. BTUSTD. That's on Tether. And then you can just run through and put any one of these in there, but let's do Bitcoin USD. So yeah, we're sitting right around 20,000, and that's a deal for Bitcoin. So if you like this type of information, leave a comment below. If you want to see something different, leave a comment below. Smash the like, share this content, get it out there, let people know to be prepared, not scared. Let them know that things will be all right. Things will turn around, but you have to make it turn around. You have to make it be all right. You just can't sit back and watch it and pray it doesn't come to your doorstep. Freedom isn't free. You have to fight for it. And that being said, I hope everyone has a blessed evening. And once again, Bitcoin equals financial freedom. Hope you guys have a great evening. God bless.